All right, ladies and gentlemen, your host Tomas Ramirez. I'm here with the one and only man. He don't play no games. He says he ain't scared to say what he says. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and only Johnny Ray. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you for fucking getting on here, man. I was like, hell yeah, dude, hell yeah. Funny story before we actually get in the interview, man. I got your message on Messenger last night, like at midnight. I don't know about you. I go to bed like around 10, dude, so I'm pretty old. So when I got it, I'm kind of like one eye open, right, and I see it, and I just see the title, fucking hypocrite. I was like, what did I do? Like, I'm thinking like you're getting after me. I was like, what did I do? I was like, I said the meeting was tomorrow. So then I click it and I'm like, oh, it's your segment, man. So fucking yeah, I clicked on it and I heard it, dude. I actually liked it. With Seth Rogen, not with Seth Rogen, but you talking about Seth Rogen.
Yeah, yeah. He made some news, and I had to drop it on everybody and give 'em my opinion on it.
Right, yeah. I saw. So, where did you find that clip of him talking? Because I've never seen that clip before.
It was an interview he did not too long ago. It was probably last week or maybe the week before. And of course, because Hollywood is kind of built into this whole narrative, which I won't go into right now because I know you don't kind of get into all that, but um, they try and keep anything that makes them look bad buried. So I saw it on Twitter. A couple of people had spoke about it, and I just searched high and low trying to find the video of it. And when I found the video, I was like, "This guy's insane." So I had to rip the video and put it on there so that everybody could see just how ridiculous he truly is.
Right. Yeah. 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 And I think it's just like everyone kind of does so much work. I think eventually he kind of forgets what he's done in the past because like the way you had put it, dude. Like he says like he doesn't offend anybody, but then like his past
But
work,
then,
I'm
but
pretty
then
sure
his
he did.
movies all have some sort of uh, uh, people that should be offended if they're offended. If they're living, they should be offended. I mean, homosexual people should be very upset that he's making gay jokes and cracking the homosexual jokes and making it a funny thing. I
Right.
personally, I don't think he should be canceled. I don't think anybody should be canceled. I think you should be able to say whatever you want, and if it offends somebody, well, sorry about your luck.
Yeah,
But
it's freedom of speech, man.
to tell me that what I say is offensive and I should not be doing it and I should be canceled, and then turn around and you doing the exact same thing, it's a hypocritical thing, and I'm not. That's probably my biggest pet peeve in 2021 is just the complete hypocrisy of the world.
Right. Yes. Yes, man. Yeah, for real. Cause I was actually talking to some of my friends, man, and not to really get off topic of the interview, but we heard like there was a if any pedophiles they get a vaccination shot, their sentences is cut in half. So it's kind of like, what the
Wow.
hell is America like, kind of going into, man? And not to really be political or anything, but I feel like Biden being the president, like, come on, you need to do way better than that, man. If that even
Yeah,
is
I mean,
in the
well, just since he's taken over, California's released 63,000 violent inmates due
right,
to this
okay,
whole COVID thing. I mean, 63,000 violent people. We're not talking about drug dealers. We're not talking about people that did something super sweet and nice. We're talking about people that were assaulting people, that were breaking into people's houses, that were stealing from people. I mean, armed robbery. It's crazy, just crazy.
yeah, and wasn't their excuse because they didn't want like a lot of people together locked up so close, so they're like, let's
Yeah,
just
it
let
was
some of
it
them
was the
out.
whole social distancing thing. I forget we're in a time where prisons are supposed to be comfy and nice, and they're supposed they have plush pillow top beds now, I suppose. But I get it. I understand. They didn't want more people getting sick than you know already had been, but there's a whole lot of ways that could have been deterred without allowing them to just go back free and walk the streets that they are currently being incarcerated from.
Right, yeah. Yeah, man, for real. I feel like they should have had smarter people than that, for real.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much, man, first question, what made you start a podcast?
Honestly, it was exactly what we were talking about, cancel culture. I've been through the whole um, role system from when I was younger. I was slightly more liberal in my beliefs, and as I grew older and kind of saw society and where it was going, I became more conservative. And then I realized that the more I became conservative, the more I saw people from that particular set of people not being able to speak freely out on social media between Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And a lot of my friends, the people closest to me, and even my family, they don't really pay attention to the news. And so, really, all this was a way for me to be able to see what's going on in the news, reiterate it in kind of more of a layman's terms, a little more laid back, a little more fun way, so that people I knew could watch it and kind of know what's going on without having to call me every 5 minutes. Hey, I heard this. What's the deal? I could just play it on a show, and it kind of grew, and we're still growing. So I mean, I got a lot of growing to do to get to the high levels of Ben Shapiro and them, but I'm working my way up, and that's kind of how it started, and I'm kind of hoping that's how it stays. I like to have a fun outlook, kind of make a comedic thing out of a lot of things, especially the clown world we're living in. It's always funny.
Right, yeah. I actually saw that episode. You elect a clown, expect a circus.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that one was pretty funny. Not well, yeah, yeah, pretty funny. The thing that kind of I caught on the I don't know why I caught this part of your segment, but it was where you said you really don't watch anime, but maybe that'll change. Like, has that changed yet? Or are you still the same? Or
No, because I haven't had anybody come to me and try and show me anime. Like the only anime I've ever, I guess, seen is just like memes and stuff on Facebook, little video clips that people will share on Facebook. But I've never had anybody that would sit down and be like, "Hey, let me talk to you about what this is, and here's an idea of what you should watch because I know you're into this kind of thing." So I had the guy I had on my episode last week. He's into some anime, so I'm sure he'll jump on that bandwagon as soon as he's got some free time.
yeah, because I thought that was funny because I never watched anime like at all either, and I've had friends that were always recommending stuff like Naruto, even like back in the day when Dragon Ball Z was a big thing. I was never part of that
Yeah,
that.
I never really got into it. I had a lot of friends that were into stuff like that, and I was just like, okay, so like the only thing I know about Dragon Ball Z is the Super Saiyan guy, and the only reason I even know about him is because of the memes. They just flood Facebook with the Super Saiyan meme with the John Cena Super Saiyan and all that. So that's about all I've ever seen of it.
Yeah. But recently, man, my one of my best friends, he I don't know if you have Netflix or not, but there's a anime show called Erased. I checked that one out for the first time, dude, and like that one was I would recommend that one if you haven't found the show yet.
Great.
That one's like
Okay.
to me that one's it's kind of like the Butterfly Effect. I don't know with Ashton Kutcher. Um,
Yeah.
but it's more detail, more story, and it was easy for me to get in because it's only 12 episodes. It's only one season, and that's it. It's not fucking like how these animes are 27 seasons, 100
Yeah.
episodes every fucking season. So that
Yeah.
I liked it that one. Like that one really got my attention real fast and stuff, man.
Well, I might check that one out just
Yeah.
as a an intro to some anime. See if I can get into it.
Okay. Okay. And at the end, I'll even send you the name and everything so you can check it out.
Okay.
So I kind of have an idea about your topics, but for people who don't know, what are the type of topics that you talk about on your podcast?
Oh man, it's a shorter list to tell you what I don't talk about. I talk about everything. If it's in culture, I talk about it. I've done segments on baseball. Most of the topics that I have some sort of political connection. I'm not going to lie about that. Most of it is a political news analysis. So anything that's in the news or going on in the especially United States, but even some of the world, I discussed that from movies in Hollywood, as you've seen, to music. I did a one of my first episodes was a analysis of WAP by Cardi B. I did a
Okay.
nice uh, lyrical analysis of that. I've done some wrestling analysis. Pretty much everything under the sun, man. If it's got to do with pop culture or culture, and it's in the news or in the cycles right now, I'm all over it.
Okay, okay. I haven't seen the WAP one. Can you give me like a little detail or summary about that one?
Basically, what I did is it was about a 15-minute segment. It was back when I was still just doing audio podcasts. That's how long ago it was.
Oh,
And
okay.
basically, I played a portion of the lyrics, and then I basically analyzed that particular section of the lyrics, and kind of I think I whitened it up a lot, which was good because I know some white people don't understand the rap genre phrases, the
Okay.
phraseology. So I lightened it up for them a little bit so that Caucasian people didn't feel left out of knowing about the WAP.
Okay, all right, man, dude. I like how you word that. Okay, so on the video I saw, it was you and two other guys. Is that your regular cast, or is it mainly just you?
No, most of the time it's just me. I do try and have people on as often as possible, just because I know, I'm not the best looking guy in the world. So, staring at me for an hour, every other day probably gets a little monotonous. So I try and have people on, especially from different walks of life, if you will. Like I reached out to a couple of people on the other side of the aisle, on the liberal side, and I've been rejected by most of them because most of them don't want to have any kind of discussion. They want to just yell. But I've had a couple of liberals that have had discussions with me. Some people who are not political at all, that have zero political affiliation. They don't know anything about politics, and I just kind of work them through what's going on. But most of the time, it's just me. Um, and if I do have a guest, it's usually somebody from a different standpoint than I am.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That's kind of. I like someone like I could bounce ideas off. Like if I say something, and then
Yeah.
even if they disagree with me, I mean, to me, it makes a good episode. Like, you can't always
Yeah,
have
it,
someone
it,
to
it,
agree with you.
it gets really hard for me because I'm funny, or I like to think I'm funny anyway. But I will make a joke and there's nobody to laugh. I'm just laughing to myself essentially. So it feels really awkward. So I do like to have people on it as much as I can because of that factor. I can make a joke and have a laugh back a little bit, as opposed to
Yeah.
just me being like Seth Rogen and laughing at my own jokes.
Yeah, nah, yeah, fucking. That was the first thing I learned whenever I started this podcast, dude. Like, by yourself, you're just talking to yourself, and then like even
Yeah.
like corny, dumb jokes, I'll kind of laugh a little bit, but then I'm like, that's dumb. Like, let me get a little
Yeah, it's
more
almost
people.
almost the feeling of you're talking to yourself, and then you just hope somebody else is on the other side of the door laughing at what you're saying. You never know if they are, but you
Right?
just hope.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay, so how long have you had your podcast or been doing podcasts?
Um, this next week on the 3rd of June will be 1 year. That was
Okay.
that'll be the anniversary. My first episode ever was dropped on June 3rd of last year.
Are you gonna have
So,
an
and
anniversary episode or anything?
I don't know. I'll probably do something a little special. Maybe do like a kind of like a look back episode, maybe the best clips of different things that I've done over the year. Um, I'll probably have a little video package at the beginning of the episode, maybe a little graphic, saying 1 year. But with podcasts, or at least with me anyway, I kind of base my celebratory levels on the episode numbers and not so much the amount of time. So like right now, my last episode was 116. So probably I might do one around 150, episode 150. If not, definitely 200 will be. And I did that with the 100 episode too. That was right after Donald Trump left office.
Oh,
So that was kind of my send off for Donald Trump and my 100 episode all rolled into one. It was kind of a uh, special episode in that, right?
okay, okay. So how I do it, I kind of drop an episode every Saturday, like Saturday morning, kind of like Saturday morning cartoon type deals. How do you do them? Like, do you do once a week, multiple times throughout the week, or?
Well, right now I've dropped way down. I've dropped to about once a week. Usually on a Wednesday. Usually like Wednesday nights will be about the time because I record it Wednesday during the day, and then by the time I get done editing and putting all the cute fun stuff in there, it's usually Wednesday night by the time it's out. I was at one point in time before I got super lax. I was doing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays,
Okay.
and that schedule became so hectic because I had to basically I would plan for the show on Sunday, record on Monday, and then plan for the next show on Tuesday, record on Wednesday. So it just kind of it was almost too much at that point. So until I can get a little more free time, a little more, I'm currently trying to move into a new house that's going to have an office as opposed to my living room. So that'll make it a lot easier because I'll be able to just go and shut the door and work.
Right. Okay. All right. And see, I can kind of relate to that because when I first started, it was on Anchors. I didn't have video, so I was kind of doing it like South Park. Every episode was just like a week,
Yeah,
prep
see, that's
time.
how I was on Anchor. I started on Anchor when I was doing just audio, and I was
Hmm.
doing it every day because it was 30
Okay.
minutes. All I had to do was talk into the phone.
Yeah,
Now
it was
with the
simple,
video,
easy.
you got to set things up. You got to make sure everything's right. You got to get video clips. So
Yeah.
that's what took up so much for me, and that's kind of why I've dropped back. But I was doing it almost every day on Anchor because it was literally just me talking into the phone and recording.
Yeah, dude, like very, very simple, like they say. And then, like you said, like putting clips together. I didn't really realize like editing takes a long time, like especially if you put
It
clips in and
does.
all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
just yeah, that takes a lot of the time. So, which brings me to my next question: what is the biggest lesson you've learned on just doing podcasting?
Um, Biggest lesson is to pay attention to rules. I can't count the amount of times that I've been kicked off of YouTube or had something taken off of YouTube because I happened to say the wrong wording on something. I'm used to that on Facebook. Facebook kicks me off about every month and a half. I get 30-day ban
Okay.
for saying something controversial. But YouTube is super picky about what you can and can't say and how you can and can't say it. So that's the biggest thing I've learned. Before I did the podcast, I looked at it and was like, oh man, all you got to do is stick a camera in my face and let me talk, and I'll be all kinds of all over YouTube. It is not like that. It is not nowhere near like that. It is stressful. You've got to be very particular about what you put. Like I get hit with copyrights all the time because I'll put like a song in the background of a clip. So I've had to learn to pay attention to what songs I'm putting there, how to get the song. So that would be my biggest thing is just paying attention to the rules.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Fucking, because I do reviews on my podcast, and I like to put parts of the movie in it that I'm reviewing. And every video I have to put up, I have to dispute it because they're like, this is
Yeah.
copyright law, so I gotta dispute the fair use thing where it's taking out the original
Yeah.
content. Nobody really. I'm not showing the movie. I'm just cutting it down to 20,
Yeah.
30
You just
minutes.
putting little clips in here and there.
Yeah, man, because I like to be like when I'm talking about a scene, I like to show the scene so that way people are like, oh, okay, I see what he's talking about, instead of, oh, well, let me
Yeah.
go watch the movies just so I can see what he's talking about and stuff. But yeah, that
Yep.
was a lesson I learned. So, is there an episode that in your head you're like, man, this is gonna be the greatest episode ever, but then when you put it out there, you're kind of like, man, I'm a little disappointed in it. Like it's not as good as I thought it was gonna be.
Um, as far as the quality of the video goes, I haven't had one that I've been just disappointed in. But now, as far as audience goes, probably like I was saying earlier, the 100th episode, because I put a lot of work into it and I pushed it so much, and it only got like 12 or 15 views total.
Okay,
And
yeah.
that was a super disappointing moment because I was like, man, that's I got 40 subscribers and only half of these people watching my video. Come on, y'all, this is 100 episodes here. I've been pretty good. So
Yeah.
that would be the one I would be disappointed in, just from a viewership standpoint.
Okay. All right. Out of all your episodes you did in the past year, do you have one where you're like, this is my favorite episode that I've made?
Um, it wasn't really. I mean, yeah, it was an episode, but it was the live coverage of the election. It was
Okay.
the first and only time that I've live streamed, and I live streamed to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And I think that was probably the coolest episode, just because it was like 6 hours of
Oh wow.
being able to watch the election, give my input, fact check the stupid stuff that CNN was saying. I had CNN playing on the screen every once in a while, so you could kind of see what the stupid people were saying to the world. And
Okay.
I think that was probably just my funnest episode to do, just because it was. I forgot the camera was even on most of the time because I was just myself watching the election. Me and one of my friends, he's not really political. He's kind of just go with the flow kind of guy. And so to have him on there for that whole time, I was able to bounce things off of him, and kind of, it was kind of a give and take thing.
Okay. All right. So, when you're doing live, man, like, does it? Are you nervous from like live and pre-recorded, or are you pretty much about the same?
I'm a little bit more nervous on live, because I tend to watch the viewer count, and that makes me nervous because I see people come in and then they'll be there for a minute, and then all of a sudden I'll see two or three people leave, and it makes me
Okay.
nervous on, oh man, they didn't enjoy it, they weren't enjoying it, so now I got to change it up. So I think there's a little bit of nervousness there, but when it comes to your just overall performance, I think I was a little more lax because, like I said, I forgot the camera was even on most of the night because I was just talking
Okay.
and you know giving my input to what was going on. So I think I was a little less nervous in that aspect, because when I'm taping my show, I want to be to the point, concise. I have specific things I want to talk about. Whereas with this one, it was just kind of a whatever happens, happens kind of thing.
Okay. All right. All right. Um, and I know you said this earlier because of YouTube. Are there any topics that you kind of stay away from, like due to criticism or just due to your videos getting taken off or getting blocked?
Um, not due to criticism at all, because I am very outspoken, and if people criticize what I have to say, chances are it's for a reason. So
Hmm.
I'm obviously doing something right. I'm getting spoke about. As far as topics in general, I do have to word around anything involving COVID at this point, because of the fact of YouTube having their little standards of what you can and can't say, and how you can and can't say things. So I tend to, walk that line with COVID and with the election. That's a big big deal on the YouTubes right now. That you can't say there was election fraud. You can't say that Biden isn't the president. Stuff like that. So you got to definitely walk that line on what I say. And I've kind of learned from other bigger YouTubers like Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, and them how I can word things without YouTube being able to say I'm saying something wrong.
Right. I follow Steve Crowder actually too, also, man. So I like him. He's a very smart
He,
guy, I think.
he is 110% the reason that I began the video portion of podcasting. And he is probably who I'm the most like when it comes to the attention span. If you watch him, he's got a fairly short attention span. He'll jump on topics and he'll make jokes and he'll go off on a joke for 15 minutes and then come back to what he was talking about. And that's how I tend to be. I tend to have ADHD real bad, so I'll make a joke and then go off on like a side tangent and then come back.
Yeah, man. I catch myself doing that, then I gotta bring myself back and stuff. So have you ever said anything on your podcast that you regretted or just had to apologize for or anything like
I
that?
I have personally never said anything that I regret because I don't regret most of what I say.
All right,
Usually, if I
hell
say it,
yeah.
I don't regret it and I don't apologize for it. There was on my last episode, the one with the two guests that I had on there. If you watch about uh, a quarter of the way into the podcast, one of the guests had made a comment of how he was happy that a certain person had been killed, and I
Oh,
did have to
right,
walk that off of him because I'm never happy if anybody dies. I'm not. So I did have
right.
to make that clear on the show that's I'm not going to go that far and say I'm happy if somebody died. But that would be the closest I've ever gotten to being sorry or regretting anything that was said.
And see the thing that wasn't even from you, so I
Yeah,
like
and
how
it wasn't
you.
even me that said it, but I didn't. I know that from the outside looking in, if I was watching a show and somebody said something just as crazy as that, I would. It would be very difficult for me not to hold that against the host for not saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Now hold on. We don't want to go that route." So I wanted to make sure and bring that back so that they didn't associate me with that thought process.
Okay, right, all right, yeah, okay, I like that, man. Give me 1 minute, let me just grab this. Okay, so the next thing I kind of have is kind of like a speed round. I call it finish this sentence. Just whatever pops to your head, kind of just say it. Not
Okay.
nothing serious or anything.
Okay.
If I could have anyone on my podcast, dead or alive, it would be
Donald Trump.
okay. If I could have any superpower in the world, it would be
Iron Man powers
hell yeah. Okay,
because
so
I'm an
wait,
Iron Man fan.
is that Iron Man's brain or is that like the suit built into you or
uh, Probably his brain if I was gonna go with it, just so that I could then invent the suit like he did. But I would take either one really. If you wanted to build the suit into me, I'd take that too because I'd fly around zapping the hell out of people with my hands.
okay, all right. The person I respect the most is
Um, probably probably my mom. She's no longer with us, but I would say that I've
okay.
respected her. She's the reason that I am who I am today. She's the reason I have the morality that I have. So I would say her.
Okay. The best sex I ever had was with.
Ooh man. Um, I I would almost have my ass kicked if I didn't say my current wife. So I'm gonna go with my wife.
Okay, all right. Smart man, you're a smart man. All right, last question. I hate that I love this corny ass song.
Ooh. Um, Man, there's a lot of corny songs that I really like that I probably shouldn't. Um, I would say probably it's an old song. I don't know how old you are. You might not know it, but it's I Hate Myself for Loving You by Joan Jett. I think that's
I have not.
probably yeah. I'll send you a link to it. You listen to it. I think you might like it. But it's a pretty corny song. And it's a girl, so obviously when I sing it, people look at me funny. But I love that song. I love it.
Okay, mine, just so you don't feel mine's is raindrops are falling on my head. I don't know who sings it. I just
See,
know
that's a
that.
good song too.
Yeah,
That's a
every
good
time
song
like
too.
that comes
I
on, I'll
sing
kind
that
of
in the
turn it
shower
over and stuff.
sometimes, you know.
Yeah. All right. So before we end this segment, man, is there anything that you want to say, promote, anything at all?
Um, Catch me on YouTube when I'm when I'm available on there. As long as they don't kick me off, I'm on Rumble. I'm on every platform. If you just search the Johnny Ray Show, I'm there, as well as the merchandise. I don't know if you could see it. This is
Okay,
my
Biden
shirt,
remorse.
Biden
Yeah.
remorse yet, and then the back has Donald Trump and it says "Don't worry, I'll wait." I got all kinds of clothing. It's called JohnnyRayShop.com. Go check it out. 10% off with the discount Father until the day before Father's Day. So you get 10% off of your entire order.
Okay, and you designed that shirt, huh? Like that's actually
Yeah,
custom made.
I have this shirt. I have a Patriot 316 shirt. I don't know if you watched wrestling back in the day, but I
Oh
kind of
hell
took the idea
yeah,
from Austin 316. And
yeah.
then I have There Are Only Two Genders t-shirt. I have Who Built the
Fuck
Cages Joe
yes.
t-shirt. I got all kinds of them. I got tumblers, t-shirts, hoodies. There's socks on there. You could get some socks. Johnny Ray Show shop socks if you want to have me on your feet all day. There's all kinds of stuff on there.
All right, man. Again, Johnny Ray, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come be for this interview, man, to come be a guest on my podcast, man. I really really appreciate it, dude. I really just can't even say how much I appreciate it, dude. I just yeah, but I really
Well,
really
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you having me, and hopefully, one of these days we can get back together and get another show going.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Like for sure, I'm adding you friend and everything, dude. Like, yeah, I've legit subscribed to you. I've checked out at least for sure two of your shows. So yeah, for sure, man. Hell yeah, I really really am looking forward to that, man.
All right.
All right, you have a good one, man. Stay blessed.
You too.